Welcome to Budget Commentary. Today we will discuss about CEO of Trolling, also known as Polish Internet Troll, an anti-furry YouTuber with 29.3 thousand subscribers at the time. But what you see is not what he actually is. He is actually a furry porn artist who was called Apilushi, who was exposed in December 2021 for pedophilia. CEO of Trolling's channel was made not too long after Apilushi was exposed. Apilushi had a changed feet fetish and true feet fetish of minors. Crazy shit. Apilushi wanted to gain his popularity again as an anti-furry YouTuber to effectively groom more people, especially anti-furries. His actions were very horrible and he once jerked in a video call to an anti-furry who was supposedly 14 at the time and tried to show him his quote-unquote Sigma milk. As NBA YoungBoy once said, possessing a .40 Glock as a constant companion, one might, in a rather audacious and scandalous twist of perception, venture to assert, though, of course, with an air of deliberate hyperbole, that I embody the very essence of a figure whose notoriety stems from the most unspeakable transgressions, despite such a characterization being both inflammatory and wholly unbecoming of polite discourse. How to make elemental titanium from all materials needed. You will need titanium ore such as ilmenite or rutile, chlorine gas, magnesium powder or strips, a heat source like a high temperature furnace or kiln, safety equipment including gloves, goggles, lab coat, and face shield, distilled water, glassware such as a beaker, filter paper, funnel, and glass stirring rod, a heat resistant container like a crucible, and a filter setup such as a Buchner funnel and flask. Step-by-step instructions. 1. Extract titanium ore. Start by obtaining titanium ore such as ilmenite or rutile. 2. Purify the ore. The extracted titanium ore needs to be purified to remove impurities and obtain a more refined form of titanium dioxide. This involves processing the ore through various chemical treatments. 3. Chlorination process. Place the purified titanium dioxide into a high temperature furnace. Introduce chlorine gas to react with the titanium dioxide. This reaction will produce titanium tetrachloride gas. For purified titanium tetrachloride, the titanium tetrachloride gas is then cooled and purified to remove any remaining impurities. This results in a clear liquid form of titanium tetrachloride. 5. A reduction process. In a large sealed reactor, mix the purified titanium tetrachloride with magnesium powder or strips. Heat the mixture to high temperatures. This will cause a reaction that produces titanium sponge and magnesium chloride. 6. A collect titanium sponge. Allow the reaction to cool down naturally. The titanium sponge, a porous form of titanium, will be left as a residue in the reactor. 7. Melting and refining. Place the titanium sponge into a high temperature furnace or vacuum. Melt the titanium sponge to remove any remaining impurities and form dense, solid titanium. You can add other elements during this process to create titanium alloys with desired properties. 8. Forming and shaping. Pour the molten titanium into molds to create ingots, billets, or other shapes. These shapes can then be further processed through rolling, forging, or machining to produce the final titanium products. Safety precautions. Always wear appropriate safety equipment including gloves, goggles, and a lab coat while handling chemicals and performing reactions. Conduct all procedures involving chlorine gas and high temperatures in a well-ventilated area or under a fume hood. Handle chlorine gas with extreme care to avoid inhalation and skin contact. Be cautious with the high-temperature processes, as the reactions can be vigorous and release heat and fumes. Dispose of any waste materials according to local regulations and safety guideline. As NBA YoungBoy once said, 40 Glock, our baby. You could say, I'm a child molester. The Industrial Revolution, beginning in the late 18th century, was a transformative period marked by the shift from agrarian economies to industrialized ones, driven by the advent of steam power and machinery. This revolution drastically increased productivity and economic growth, but it also brought significant social and environmental consequences. The rapid urbanization and factory growth led to overcrowded cities with poor living conditions for many workers. Labor exploitation, including child labor, became widespread, prompting eventual labor reforms. The environmental impact was profound, with increased pollution and resource depletion. Despite these challenges, the Industrial Revolution laid the groundwork for modern technological advancements and set the stage for the complex industrial societies we have today. But those who know Part 2 in comments, concept, an epitome of digital esotericism and mimetic self-referentiality, epitomizes an arcane collective consciousness, wherein individuals are privy to the cryptic intricacies and subtextual nuances that elude the uninitiated. These cognoscenti, often delineated by avatars of profound enigma and chaotically surreal personas, such as the Jonker, Trolls, and AI Rick laughing, encapsulate a hermeneutic paradigm of awareness that borders on the hyperbolically inscrutable. I think the CEO of Trolling situation is genuinely crazy. I think CEO of Trolling is evil and unhinged. I truly believe this situation is crazy. CEO of Trolling is an example of crazy. He is crazy. It is with a considerable degree of consternation and a profound sense of befuddlement that I am compelled to articulate my perception regarding the individual occupying the esteemed position of Chief Executive Officer within the multifaceted and labyrinthine domain of trolling. I find myself in a state of intellectual disarray and cognitive discomposure, inclined to surmise that the aforementioned executive, who presides over the multitudinous affairs and intricate intricacies associated with trolling, has demonstrated a demeanor and exhibited behavior that can only be described as resplendently and extravagantly unhinged. This characterization, replete with an abundance of hyperbolic and grandiloquent terms, aims to underscore the sheer magnitude of the eccentricity and irrationality that seems to pervade his actions and decisions. To further elucidate, the CEO's conduct appears to transcend the bounds of conventional and rational thought processes, venturing into the realms of the profoundly eccentric and whimsically capricious. His decisions, imbued with an air of inexplicable unpredictability, defy the parameters of normalcy and reason, resulting in a cascade of bewildering and perplexing outcomes. Such behavior, characterized by an effusion of erratic and inexplicable actions, has led to an atmosphere of pervasive disarray and tumult within the organization. In conclusion, it is with a sense of incredulous amazement that I must assert my belief that the Chief Executive Officer of Trolling has exhibited a state of mental aberration so extraordinary and bewildering that it warrants the aforementioned description. The verbosity and embellishment of this statement are intended to fully capture the essence of the situation, reflecting the gravity and the magnitude of the CEO's ostentatious and flamboyant deviation from the norms of rationality and coherence. Thank you for watching, Internet Anarchist.